Hey, shop at Teesprings for all your goods merchandise. We got what you need. You need shirts? No problem. You need mugs? No problem. You ain't got no money? Problem. Get the red suit, get the monkey, raise some money, buy a shirt.
What the was that?
WTF. So it's been a while since we had art on WTF.
It's been a month.
A long time. A long.
It's been 30 days.
The video dates don't really justify explain the amount of time it's been since you've been on here. So just know it's been a super long time. But we are glad to have you back, Art.
I'm glad to be back.
Right. So we got you back for another of these weird, crazy stories we have for WTF. And this one,
it's my forte.
You are weird and crazy.
I am. I am WTF.
This one involves something a little bit close to me. It involves Detroit, or at least a suburb of Detroit. Right?
Oh, it's a crime.
Detroit's made up, the metropolitan Detroit's made up
220,
of...
225, whatever.
It's made up of the inner city of Detroit and then its suburban area. So one of the suburban areas is Southfield, Michigan. And in Southfield, Michigan, a 20-year-old woman was found to have a cardiac arrest in her home and was responded to by paramedics, pronounced dead from the cardiac arrest. But later, when she was taken to the funeral home, was found that she was still alive.
So, question.
Yes.
Well, first thing first, what was the time frame from when the paramedics arrived?
Right.
Am I getting ahead?
No. That's part of what I was going to get into next. So they responded, I forgot to write down the exact time. So they responded to the call that she was not responsive from the neighbors. The firefighter slash paramedics, you know how.
Did they find her in her home?
They found her in her home.
So how did her neighbors know she was not responsive?
Wasn't detailed in the story, sir.
Well, I'm just saying,
there is a news thing I would gladly embed into this video that might be able to explain this a little better than I.
Paramedics from the Southfield Fire Department attempted to revive an unresponsive woman for 30 minutes, according to Fire Chief Johnny Menifee. But hours later, staff over at the James H. Cole Funeral Home realized she was still breathing. A loved one of the unidentified woman posted about the incident on Facebook, saying he received a phone call learning his sister was being rushed to the hospital because she had a heart rate of 85.
I'm just going maybe she was in her home. I'm just doing all the math of how long she was dead.
I will make sure that I put that up somewhere to explain exactly, but fast forward to the real problem. So she is there. The paramedics are trying to resuscitate her. I didn't get that. I mean, there was no footage of that. So they spent about 30 minutes trying to resuscitate her.
30 minutes?
30 minutes trying to resuscitate her. To no avail, pronounced her dead at the scene. Police were there after paramedics had left after pronouncing her dead, because then, they got to bring in the coroner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So while they were there, police say, we think we saw her move and breathe. So then they called the paramedics back. Paramedics again pronounced her dead.
What?
They again pronounced her dead. They said that the movements that the police may have seen may have been due to the medication she was taking that may have led up to her
nerves or gas or
something that may have led up to her cardiac arrest. So then at that point, once again, call the coroners in. The family already had a funeral home that they would want to have done, so they didn't go to the actual
morgue?
To the morgue. They sent her straight to the funeral home. So when they get to the funeral home, the people that work at the funeral home were trying to prepare her, at least get her to a point where they can store her so they can make arrangements for the funeral.
Yeah.
Starts breathing there. So then they call the paramedics out to the funeral home.
The funeral home released a statement saying, quote, "While it is our practice to not comment on open investigations, we can confirm we received a call to pick up a Southfield woman who was deceased. After receiving clearance from the Oakland County Medical Examiner's office, she was transported to our funeral home. Upon her arrival at the funeral home, our staff confirmed she was breathing and called EMS. Our thoughts and prayers are with this young woman and her family."
I'm hoping it's another set of paramedics and not the same ones.
It does not say. But though there was an article when I was looking at it today, they were trying to figure out who's to blame for this, because you're right. Two set of paramedics, because I think the first set that pronounced her dead wasn't the second set that came out the second time and pronounced her dead. But they're arguing about who's at fault for that.
Both. Both.
They are arguing who's at fault for that. So
But okay, well, I'm not a paramedic. I'm
Okay.
not a first responder,
Right.
right? So I don't know what they would do to verify if someone's dead or not. Now, she must have been in some type of state. I'm giving them credit, or benefit of the doubt, not credit. I'm giving benefit of the doubt where she was in a certain state where maybe there was no signs that she was alive. But how extensive did they?
Is their process of determining when somebody's dead? Obviously not good enough. They're like, well, she didn't move.
Ma'am.
Wake up!
She
Well,
gone.
She's gone. She's gone.
She gone.
It's not clear to us what led up to the 911 phone call. After a half hour, the chief says the 20-year-old was pronounced dead. In a statement, Chief Menifee said, quote, because there was no indication of foul play, as per standard operating procedure, the Oakland County Medical Examiner's office was contacted and given the medical data. The patient was again determined to have expired, and the body was released directly to the family to make arrangements with a funeral home of their choosing, end quote.
I've heard of other stories where they said that slow heartbeat, slow breathing. Technically, you can last 3 minutes of no oxygen. So if you're taking breaths, every minute and a half or so, or every couple of minutes,
every 2 minutes, and 55 seconds,
you could live. You could still be alive. But if they're checking vital signs, you would appear dead, right? If you have a very slow heartbeat,
I'm trying to
and you're
breathe no, I can't do it.
Just a little bit, and then hold it. So, the part of the story that I do know, so the paramedics do return out to
I
the
love that.
funeral
I
home.
love that line. The part of the story I do know.
I do not. I was not there. So the part of the story. By the way, my mom sent me this story. So
Shout out, Mom.
Thank you, Mom, for doing work for me. # research. She's
our field journalist.
She's our field journalist. So they call him back out to the funeral home. They were like, "Oh yeah, she is alive." They do rush her to the hospital there in Detroit, and she is recovering. It didn't state specifically what obviously just the cardiac arrest and the heart stopping. Maybe it was kicking back on and kicking off and kicking back on. Maybe that's why they didn't get a heartbeat, and then the slow breaths. That part I didn't really get into, but this is a continuing story. Maybe I will address this later on because
updates to come.
Updates to come. Because they are fighting about who is at fault.
Yeah. Also, don't expect all her medical bills to be taken care of. Because if she was alive, the paramedics was still arrived and still taking her to a hospital.
Right.
That's neither here nor there.
Right.
That was going to happen. But does a funeral home charge for the delivery?
If it, well, you dropped him off. We started the work, so you kind of gotta pay us something.
It's not our fault she was alive.
It made me
This is
think
our first
about,
living.
So you do remember the movie The Nun? In The Nun, where they had the little bell on the cemetery in case people got buried, they weren't really dead. So it made me think about that. I was like, man, this could have gone really, really bad. She was already at the funeral home. It's not like, okay, we just threw her on ice and something like that, and she's like banging on the door, like, let me out. Yeah. And it was like they were probably seconds away from cutting her open to take organs out, and then they were like, oh crap, she moved.
Yeah, that would be kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Or you waking up in the middle,
and it was like, I didn't know.
First of all, you're butt naked.
Yeah. They were probably deciding how to do your hair. And
that's
makeup.
traumatizing.
It is. It's very. Don't ever do that to me. So when, God forbid, whenever I pass, make sure you kick me around a little bit. Wait some time. Make sure that I am truly dead before you ship me off someplace. Slap me around. Throw some water in my face. Poke me. Give me the shocker.
T. He's asking for the shocker.
That'll wake you up from the dead.
But if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, I would have gone like this or like this. He said, give me the shocker.
Hey, man, if I don't react from 2 fingers. All right, take us home.
Hey, guys, maybe there's something we didn't miss, or maybe there's something that we are not aware of, that there's updates, because this is a continuing story. Go ahead and share. Tell us. Maybe this is not the first one. Maybe these paramedics have a history, right?
Maybe so. How many other people have not been dead but declared dead?
How many of them were killed by the morgue or the funeral home when they were preparing them? They weren't
it's
dead.
Bodies move all the time. Don't worry about it. Cut them open.
So tell us what you think. Don't forget to like us, follow us, do all that good stuff to us.
All right. So this is the first time that you're on the channel, because I know a lot of you guys are kind of being first-time watchers on the channel. We always ask, Why'd you start with WTF? We do way other better videos on the channel.
Much better.
Make sure you check some of those out. Just like he said, subscribe, notification, do all that good stuff. So for Manny, who couldn't make it with us because he decided to come up with some crazy work story, I'm Terrence.
I'm Art.
You guys take care. Real quick, if you're still here, because we do these into the video little blooper things. If you're still here, look down. There's a link here for Patreon. If you guys like the show, please give us money. Give us money. We'll take a penny. We'll take a nickel. We'll take a dime. We'll take a dollar. We have some stuff on there that we're giving away on Patreon if you do contribute, because trust me, we need help.